Who doesn't love a meaty and hearty stew for the cold winter months? It's a Polish classic. It'll warm you right up from the inside out. Hi everybody and welcome to my kitchen. It's me, Manny from Manny's Men at Home. As the weather gets colder, of course we're going to want to be eating some delicious hearty stews. Today I'm going to be making another delicious Polish recipe, Breton Beans or Fasolka po Bretońsku. Let's look at the ingredients that we're going to need. For this recipe in Poland, typically you would use some beans called Beautiful Johnny or Piękny Jaś. But today I have a very good substitute. These are just butter beans that come from a tin. Each tin is about 400 grams, but once you drain out the liquid, it's probably about 500 grams of beans only. So we don't have to soak this overnight or anything like that. They're ready to go as they are. So I'm gonna start the recipe with prepping the meat. For my meat, I've got some delicious smoked pork sausage, Polish of course, and I'm just going to slice it up a little bit. Here you want to use a sausage that's not too fussy, but also not too dry. This sausage is already smoked, so feel free to sneak a little nibble. Okay, we can move that aside for the minute and we'll get working on our bacon. Once again, here I've got some smoked bacon. If you can get your hands on it, use one that's uncooked because it will release some delicious fatness when you go to cook it. I was only able to get a cooked one, but this will work fine. There's this skin at the bottom which we want to get rid of. Don't throw this out because you can use it to make some delicious split pea soup, and we've got a great recipe using a slow cooker. Make sure you click the card up there to check it out. Now we can cut up the bacon into little cubes. I love these Polish recipes. There is so much meat that goes into them. They're always delicious. Okay, that's all our meat. Let's move on. I've just turned on my pan and I'm gonna put in my bacon into it while it's still kind of cold. Spread it out and leave it alone. And we want to try to render out some of that fat. We're gonna use that to cook everything. I see some of the fat has come out now and it smells so beautiful. That smokiness is filling my kitchen. It's amazing. So that's a good time to go in with our sausages. I'm just gonna fry them until they get a little bit of color. At this point, I like to add half of my garlic, and also I like to go in with half of my tomato paste. And I like doing this step because I feel the tomato paste, its flavor profile changes a bit. It becomes less sour. Fry it for a couple of minutes, and then using a slotted spoon, you can move it into a bowl and keep it to the side for now. I'm gonna heat up my pan on a medium heat for a couple of minutes and then go in with my onions. I'm trying to get them nice and charry, almost burnt on the edges, so you need high heat here. Okay, we're almost where we want it to be. We've got the nice charry edges. I'm gonna give it a stir. Oh, that's perfect. But we don't want to burn it either. So now we get our pot out and put everything together. Alrighty, into a large pot, I'm gonna go in with my beans and I'm gonna cover them with water. I'm gonna add in some cayenne pepper. We've got some bay leaves, marjoram, and some allspice. I'm gonna give it a quick stir and then let it come to the boil. Once again, my beans are already cooked. If I was using raw beans, I would cook them for an hour or a bit longer at the start before I start adding the rest of my ingredients. All right, it's bubbling away nicely now, so I'm gonna go in with the meat. And also I'm gonna add in the onions. I'm gonna add in some garlic now as well, and I'm gonna give it all a good stir. Now you can have this be really soupy or real stewy. I'm gonna go for something kind of somewhere in between. Not too runny, but also thick enough. Obviously that will depend on the levels of water that you have, so you can tailor it as you go along. At this point, it's already really reminding me of my fabada asturiana, another beautiful bean stew. If you wanna check that out, click up here and check out the whole Spanish food recipe. You're gonna love it. Gonna cover and let it simmer for about a half an hour on a medium heat. Right, it's been half an hour and it's looking beautiful, but I'm gonna add in a little bit of extra garlic here, and I'm also gonna go in with some tomato paste. I'm gonna mix all of that in. At this point, we have to start balancing the flavors, so let me give it a bit of a taste. It's yummy, but it does need a little bit of seasoning. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of salt and pepper. And there's also a little bit of acidity from the tomato paste, so you can correct that with some sugar. Add it a bit at a time and then taste as you go along. You can let it sit for an extra 2 minutes on a simmer and then we're ready to plate up. It smells so good. I need to plate myself a bowl right now. Alrighty, it's time to eat. Don't mind if I do. It smells so gorgeous. Let me try some of the stew. It's beautiful. The smokiness of the meat has infused throughout the entire stew. Those butter beans are deliciously creamy, and there's a bit of heat because we added that little bit of cayenne pepper at the start. It's so beautiful, it's so warming. That broth is delicious. I'm gonna have to try it with some bread. You can have it with some butter bread actually, just to dip, and it's amazing. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's recipe. If you liked it, make sure you leave me a big like, a comment below with your thoughts, and be sure to share with all of your friends. If you try this or any of my other recipes, be sure to post them on Instagram and tag me. I really want to see how you get on. If you like this recipe, you're gonna love my hunter stew or bigos. Make sure to click the card up here or check out my Polish food playlist. It's fantastic. With that, I'll leave you for this video and enjoy.